So this is going to be the first episode of a 5-part series where I'm going to be flirting with the idea of completely rebuilding Manchester United's squad by selling our best players and then upgrading upon them with that money. In this video I'll be discussing Lisandro Martinez, analysing the deficiencies in his game, proposing 2 potential upgrades, before towards the end I look at how Martinez could improve at United with some specific tactical changes to his role. So one thing I find annoying is when I suggest a transfer plan that involves signing more than 5 players for United, and people comment this isn't Football Manager, as though other clubs don't routinely do this, especially when Chelsea have a Football Manager-like transfer strategy which has actually built them a pretty good squad alongside a whole conveyor belt of young talents from Kendry Páez, Estavio Willian, Andre Santos and Diego Moreira who haven't even joined the first team yet. So in this video I want you to suspend belief and pretend we have Todd Boehly and whatever financial black magic they have at Stamford Bridge, because in this series I'm going to be suggesting 5 players that United could sell in 2025 and how I would upgrade upon all of them to give United a better starting 11 and a squad as a whole. So let's say we could sell Lisandro Martinez, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Mount and Højlund. How could we improve the squad? Well, I'm going to start off with Martinez, and I do really like Martinez. I just think most of the United fan base deludes itself into thinking players are better than they are. He's nowhere near the best centre-back in the league. Saliba and Gabriel are clear of most, Diaz, Akanji, Guardiola and Ake are all better than Martinez. Van der Ven is definitely a better modern day centre-back, with his capabilities of playing in a high line and when driving forward with the ball. Christian Romero I'd say is a similar level to Martinez, as he also has issues in his game as well. Van Dijk and Konate are better than Martinez, and I think Pau Torres, Calafiori and Mark Gahey are probably all around Martinez's level as well. See, Martinez is a very good ball playing centre back, but he lacks aerial ability and physicality in the air, and his FB ref report does show this, and also he's not great at defending space, which is only exacerbated further by Ten Hag inverting Dalot in field constantly and leaving space in the channel for Martinez to defend. I also think he lacks the defensive instincts of a natural centre back inside of the box, as we saw against Porto and Brighton that when the ball goes over his head inside of the box from a cross, he has a tendency to switch off and lose track of his player, which lend these to them getting in front of him and having a tap in. However, on the ball, Martinez's progressive passing is still quality, and overall I do think he's a very good defender when it comes to putting in standing or sliding tackles, and so if you were to cash in on him you could probably sell him for at least £50 million up front, maybe up to £65 million with add-ons, and for me with that money either Bastoni or Van der Ven would be an upgrade. But before I analyse Bastoni and Van der Ven, let me show you the jersey of the day, which is this Manchester United Originals 1990 home shirt, which you can find on Jersey FIFA. They've also got the new season and other club and international side retro jerseys. You can use code Atlantis at checkout for a discount. A link will be in my Instagram bio, which I will leave linked in the description. So out of the two, I think Van der Ven's pace over short and long distances, alongside his ball carrying ability, does make me lean slightly more towards him, but I do think Bastoni is the better defender, both on the ground and aerially, whilst also being a better crosser in the final third as well. Also, given that Tottenham only signed Van der Ven for £42 million just over a year ago, and he has a contract until 2029, they are likely going to want over £75 million for him, which I think is far too much. Whereas with Inter Milan's financial situation not being the best in the last few years, I think United could get Bastoni for between £60 to £65 million, and maybe even negotiate some sort of swap deal, something like Lisandro Martinez plus £10 to £15 million. I think that would suit both clubs, with both players being of a similar age, Martinez 27 next summer and Bastoni 26. And even though I am a fan of Martinez, I do think that Bastoni is an upgrade in most areas. First of all, from a physical and athletic point of view, Bastoni is as good as you can get from a centre-back. He's 6'3", which is around 5 or 6 inches taller than Martinez, which alongside the fact that he has a greater physical presence, makes him better in the air. However, I should say from a statistical point of view, Bastoni isn't as good in the air as I first thought, with his aerial duel percentage a lot lower than I would have expected, and so this is an area of his game that he does need to improve, but certainly from an attacking point of view, he's significantly better in the air than Martinez. He is also better suited to playing in a high defensive line, as well as defending in 1v1 situations in wide positions, and can seamlessly move from centre back to left back if needed, as not only is he better at defending space and 1v1s compared with Martinez, but in possession, Bastoni is one of the best ball-carrying centre-backs in the world, maybe even the best, as seen as he ranks in the top 1 or 2% for his progressive carries, as well as his carries into the final third and penalty area as well. Martinez is still fairly impressive in terms of his ball progression, but he's certainly not on Bastoni's level. But how would Bastoni improve Manchester United tactically? Well, the optimal shape to press high up the pitch in the opposition's build-up phase is obviously going to depend on the opposition's possession shape, as you want to press man to man. And so because most of the time the opposition is going to be using a high and wide front three, United need to be prepared to go man for man, 3 versus 3 at the back, as this gives you an extra man that you can push forward into the press. But the issue with Lisandro Martinez in the backline in this situation is that he doesn't have the sort of elite level athleticism, physicality or 1v1 defending to be dominant in these 1v1 duels. However, Bastoni has all of these attributes, and so whereas you may have to push Martinez higher up the pitch into the midfield line if you are pressing man to man at the back, with Bastoni at left-sided centre-back or even left-back, you have a player who alongside De Ligt should be a lot more comfortable in these 1v1 duels than Martinez. Currently Manchester United don't go man for man at the back, and so this means that we have one less player in the midfield and forward line press than we would have if we were able to go man for man at the back. Now I should say that Martinez can still be used in these 1v1 situations out wide, but he's just not as good in these situations as Bastoni, and so that's why in an ideal world where United actually have a left back available, Dalot can go to right back. I think Ten Hag should then be pushing Martinez up into the midfield line alongside Ugarte to press the opposition's advanced central midfielders sitting in the half space. And then from here the left back can hold a deeper position in the 1v1 in the back three. Alternatively, without a natural left back, when Euro does return, you could shift Lisandro Martinez to left back, but during the press in the opposition's defensive third, Martinez can push up, with Euro coming across to defend the 1v1 in the channel, and so the pressing shape would still be the same, but Martinez would be pushing up into the midfield from the left back position rather than left-sided centre-back. Now it's not ideal, but I think it would make Manchester United's press a lot more compact and stop sides being able to find open passing lanes to play through the centre, in and around the midfield double or the single pivot, mainly because you've got an extra body in there with Lisandro Martinez in this area. However, I think inserting Bastoni into this side for Martinez gives United better defenders in those 1v1 duels, as with Bastoni at left back he can sit in the back three, being very comfortable defending in these areas in a channel, as we've seen him do at Inter Milan, playing as a left-sided centre-back in a back three, ahead of a left wing-back like DiMarco. Euro can sit central and De Ligt comes over to the right side, which enables Dalot to push up the flank into the midfield line press, and Ahmad on that side can now press from a higher but also a more central position, allowing Manchester United to go man for man with Mainu and Ugarte on the opposition's central midfielders, Bruno Fernandes on their deep single pivot on the edge of the box, Rashford and Dalot either side of the midfield sitting narrow but positioned so they can react to any long passes out to the fullbacks, whilst Ahmad and Xerxes either side of Bruno Fernandes can apply pressure to the goalkeeper and centre-backs inside of the box. But Bastoni could also improve Manchester United in possession as well. But before I tell you about that, just a reminder, I do have a Patreon where you can get access to my Telegram group channel where I will be doing in-game analysis of all the Manchester United games, as well as any other games you want to see as well. I've also got unreleased videos and articles which you can get access to for just $1.50 a month. I'll leave it linked in the description, comment section and on the end screen at the end of this video. So Lisandro Martinez is probably a better incisive passer when it comes to threading balls into players between the lines, but Bastoni is still very good at this, and he's also a significantly better long passer than Martinez and a much better carrier of the ball into space, and this can help United when they want to exploit the space on the opposite flank of play. If United have the ball on the right side, for example, the opposition is going to squeeze over to that side, which means that if United can open up passing lanes to circulate the ball across the back line efficiently, or just utilise a long switch of play, Bastoni can receive the ball on the opposite side and use his athletic ball carrying ability to drive into the space, progressing the ball into the opposition's half or defensive third, and bypassing the forward and hopefully the midfield line as well. The other thing I prefer about Bastoni in comparison to Martinez is that Bastoni is equally as effective as a left-sided centre-back or at left-back, and unlike Martinez, Bastoni has the pace and athleticism in order to provide the over and underlapping runs that Rashford and Garnacho ahead on the left flank have been desperately needing, whilst also being a significantly better crosser from wide positions as well. And this isn't even factoring in the fact that Bastoni is a better defender inside of the box, not only due to his increased physicality, but I also think he has much better defensive instincts inside of the box than Martinez as well. And so overall, I think United could bring Bastoni in for £10 to £15 million, more than what they could raise through selling or swapping Martinez. And I think overall that deal would be a massive upgrade and would allow United to improve tactically, both in and out of possession, in multiple different phases of play.